right in the kisser.
Hey, how the devil are you? Oh, now, I'm going to enjoy this one today. This is the AP30 MusicBoy, okay? And it's doffing its cap or giving a nod to a 90s Game Boy. Have a look at that. And you know what? They've done a flipping good job. They really have. Decent job indeed. I'll be delving more into the device, obviously, later on in this video. But before we go any further, I think it's only fitting for me to talk about the device that gave inspiration to this. The Game Boy was released in 1989 in Japan, followed then by North America and Europe in 1989 and 1990. It was designed by Gunpei Yokai, who had previously developed Nintendo's Game & Watch series. Ooh. Now, despite having relatively simple black and white graphics compared with home consoles at the time, the Game Boy became hugely successful because it was affordable, portable and durable, and had excellent battery life. Its biggest early success came with Tetris. Do you remember Tetris? That song used to drive me bonkers, which was bundled with the console in many markets and became one of the most famous video games ever made. Across its various versions, the Game Boy family sold more than 118 million units worldwide, making it one of the most successful handheld gaming platforms in history. Its combination of portability, simple design, and enormous library of games helped establish handheld gaming as a major part of the video game industry. And there you go. A little bit of brief history for you about the Nintendo Game Boy. There we are. Now, if any of you played Tetris, the music did get a little bit annoying. And that music is a 19th century Russian folk song called Korabainiki or Korabainiki. It means the peddlers. So it's an old folk song, right? Now, I managed to find a piano version, a copyright piano version of Tetris. And it really reminds me, the piano version especially, of a piano playing on a 1920s silent movie. And here it is. Ta-da! See, they've done a pretty good job, haven't they? Hey, not bad, I think. Pretty good. I'll put see if I can fit a normal size. You see how small it is. Look, it's pretty teeny. I'll put an old Game Boy here. See if I can find a picture and put it to scale next to it now. So there you go. Okay. So pretty good. Looks very much like it. Anyway, so it comes with this little case that goes around it, a little safety case. See if I can take that off. There you go. So you can pop that on the back if you want. And then there's got a MagSafe ring it came with. I had to put that in there. Where's the other one? There's another one there which goes onto your phone. So that'll stick on the back of it. There you go. So that'll stick to your phone and then you can stick that onto the back of your phone if you don't have one. There you go. Good to have the MagSafe on there. Let's pop that back on. Nice design on the back, look. Pretty cool, isn't it? That's all glass. Oh, before I forget, It does come with some screen protectors, so you can pop that on the back there, like that, protect that, because it is glass. I think it's perspex. I think it's perspex or glass. I don't know. And you've got a screen protector here then as well to go on there. It also comes with a USB-A to USB-C, so you can connect it to your PC. And it comes with a USB-C to USB-C as well, so you connect it to your phone. Nice. Okay, let's pop this back on. There's also 2 holes there. Can you see them? Now, I'm wondering whether that's to put like a carry cord around it. Didn't come with one, but I'm assuming that's maybe what it's for, potentially. Let's get this back on. Easier said than done, isn't it? There you go. Okay, so you can load up an SD card here. So I got a micro SD card in there. Here's the volume, and also this is your power button as well. So to turn it on off to standby, just press it and it comes on. There you go. You can navigate using these buttons here. Okay, and there's all your music there, now playing, whatever. Let's go into now playing. So as you can see, it's playing, what is it? Secondhand News by Fleetwood Mac. And now you can use that button there, that little one there, see it there, as your pause button and your play button. Is it playing? Oh, I paused it. Okay. And if you go into here, press that one next to it, takes you into shuffle and order, repeat, equalizer, repeat time, repeat interval, scanning mode, etc., etc. Let's have a little peek at the equalizer, the EQ. So you got some presets there. Normal, bass, heavy, pop, jazz, unique. Then you can put your own EQ in. So it's got a little 5-band EQ in there, and that's pretty cool, isn't it? I like that. Pretty sweet. And you can just go across then using that navigation bar there. Okay, to go back, you press B. And go back again. There you go. I'm back again. I'm back again. I'm back again. I'm back again. There, where are we? There we are. Come on, back to the beginning. You can also put textbooks on here and audiobooks. They'd be stored in there. There's obviously none in there. The only files I got in there are songs at the moment, so that's all that's there. Then we got you can have the audio folders in there, your music folders from there. Again, that's all I've got is music on here at the moment. There must be a quicker way of getting back. I'm just doing it wrong. Right. You've got Bluetooth. Now, it's Bluetooth version 5.3, and it's only the SBC codec. So you don't get AAC or aptX or LDAC or anything like that. And it only transmits, it doesn't receive. So you can't Bluetooth your phone to it. And I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity. It would have been nice to be able to Bluetooth the music from your phones directly to it, but it doesn't do that. But it does transmit Bluetooth. So if you've got Bluetooth headphones or Bluetooth earbuds, you can transmit to it. Over here then, we've got your settings and date and time, common settings. That's just screen off, brightness, whatever. You can adjust the brightness. Time shutdown, you can have the time shutdown. Auto power off, whatever, you can turn them on. Probably good to turn them on, actually. You've got filter on here for your DAC. Have a look at that. So, mad to see that on a little device like this, isn't it? That's pretty cool. Fast roll-off, linear phase, minimum phase, slow roll-off, non-oversampling. There you go. So you can go direct with non-oversampling. That's pretty cool. And then you've got gain adjustment. I've got it on high gain at the moment. But you can have it on low gain if you want. It's handy if you've got some harder to drive headphones. Information just tells you what the version is, language, and initialize, and that will be to reset your device if you want to, or format the card. Now, it's pretty easy to connect your PC. You just connect to the PC with the USB cable. Select USB data copying. Copy the files across and bingo! And it's easy as that. They're on your device. Pretty sweet. Connecting to a phone is just as easy. You can stick the device onto your phone with the MagSafe supplied, the MagSafe ring. Plug in the supplied USB-C cable, select USB audio decoding, and Bob's your uncle. They come in various colours. There's 5 versions in all. There's 3 plastic case versions and 2 CNC aluminium machined versions, with the plastic case versions being a little bit cheaper. It's got a 3.5mm and a 4.4mm balanced out. And from the 3.5mm, you're getting 61 milliwatts per channel. And from the 4.4, you're getting 137 milliwatts per channel. Recommended impedance is from 8 to 100 ohms. So it's not really a powerhouse at all. It'll power most headphones. If you've got some really hard to drive headphones, you may struggle with it, okay? It should be fine for most IEMs. And I used my Head D1s here, and they were fine with it. Absolutely fine, plenty of volume, especially from the 4.4 out, the balanced. Okay, so I'm going to put some specs up on the screen now so you can pause and have a look if you want to see some of the specs. But I'll give you some brief overviews. So the amp chip is the RT6863, and the DAC it's using is the Cirrus Logic CS43198. And with PCM, you're getting up to 192 kilohertz 24-bit. So I have the aluminium version of the device. And like I said earlier, it comes in a plastic case as well. But I think the aluminium version's a little bit heavier. So when you pop it on the back, when you use the MagSafe, it goes on there fine and it'll hold the phone. Okay, so it's pretty strong. But I wonder if the aluminium one's just a little bit too heavy for the magnet, because it does move around quite a bit. Okay, and so maybe if you're looking to attach it to your phone, maybe the plastic case would be better because that's a bit lighter. Also, you could always get a stronger MagSafe magnet, couldn't you? I mean, there's always that option as well. They don't cost a lot of money. And on their website, they say there's a few things, few scenarios you can use it in: sporting, traveling, working, gaming, etc. But what's this in the bottom right-hand corner? Driving? Yeah, I wouldn't recommend using it while driving, okay? Maybe if you could connect it to your infotainment system somehow with a USB or a 3.5mm jack, maybe that would be okay, that's safer. But having it in your hand while driving, I wouldn't recommend it, okay? They're probably AI pictures, so maybe they need to look at that picture and change it a little bit, because that looks a bit dodgy to me. Do you know, one thing I never showed, I haven't talked about, is that it does have Tetris on it. Now, it doesn't have the music, okay, it's no sound. But it's quite responsive, it's enjoyable. Look, it's not a gaming device, it's a music device. And it's just a little nod, you know, to the Game Boy to put Tetris on there. And it works well, it's quite responsive. It was fun to play, you know, although I did have to put my reading glasses on because it is very small on the screen, okay? But yeah, pretty cool. Now, with regards to sound, it sounds very good. I gotta say, very clear, very clean sounding, good detail retrieval. I would say the bass is quite punchy and articulate and fast, good bass on it. And this isn't normal. I didn't use any EQ when I was doing my listening tests. Didn't use any of the filters. The mid-range, nice and smooth, presents well. Good stereo separation. The treble, there's no sibilance at all. It's nice and bright and detailed. So soundstage is good. I can't really grumble. Sound-wise, quite impressive. Not bad at all. It's as good as any I've heard from one of these devices. So very, very good. Anyway, That's now come to the end of the video. There will be links in the description box below. I'm not sure if they still got a Kickstarter, but any links I'll put in the description box below for you to go and have a look. Anyway, that's it. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I really want to get to that 50k. Ooh, I do. And it'd be a massive help if you could subscribe if you're not subscribing. Do you know, I'm blabbing on a bit now, but 80% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. So if you're one of that 80%, sort yourself out. Okay, anyway, I'll catch you in the next one.